We are going to have the opportunity this afternoon to really give some recognition to some outstanding citizens that have really helped play a major role in St. Paul. They did some different things, such as being compassionate, saving someone's life, and actually putting themselves in danger, with one common theme: heroic action. Taking the opportunity to change somebody else's life and making our city such a great place to live because people are willing to get involved. We're honored today to have Mayor Coleman here to assist me, and so before we start the actual awards, I'd like the mayor to come up and say a few words for all of you as well.
Thanks, Chief. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here and to join with the chief in awarding some outstanding individuals that have made a real difference in the lives of a lot of folks in this community. You know, being a hero, acting at a time of crisis is not an easy thing to do. And for those of you that were in the middle of it, you saw yourselves in situations that I'm sure that you never imagined yourselves in the middle of. Whether it was seeing a person that was in a crisis in their personal life, someone that's had an accident in the middle of a bank robbery. We prefer not to be in those situations whenever we can avoid them. But the fact of the matter is, what makes you different is not just that you were placed in a situation, it's that you acted, that you were engaged, that you did something that other people might not have done, that they may have walked away from, that they may have hidden, that they may have said, you know what, that's just not my business. The difference in this community is we have heroes. We have people that are willing to step up. We have people that are willing to make a difference for the lives of others. And that's what makes St. Paul a very special place. So we honor not only the folks that are here today to receive the Chiefs Award, but we are here to really just say we are grateful from a community perspective to all of you who every day don't stick your head in the sand, don't say it's not my business, but make it a point to be a part of the lives of the people around you. Thank you. It's not a very easy thing to do. I'll tell you a personal story. It's kind of a funny one. It also might get me in trouble with the chief. This winter, I was driving down Ohio Hill on the west side, and I'm mayor, so I'm naturally curious about what's happening in the community. And I saw that there was an incident in the middle of Ohio, and I slowed down, and I wasn't sure what it was. Well, at first what I thought was a stalled car all of a sudden looked like I was watching a carjacking or something like that. And then I thought maybe I'm watching a domestic assault. And so I'm trying to figure out how to, instead of just picking up my phone and calling 911, I'm trying to figure out how to use the darn police radio in the car that they never taught me how to use it because they really don't want me using this thing. The next thing I know, the back door of my car is open, and I'm thinking, I'm going to get carjacked here. I had absolutely no idea what was happening. But it became readily apparent that there was a family in crisis and that there was a mom and a dad with a young baby in their arms, and that baby was not responsive. And I didn't know what was happening, but all I knew was the only thing I could do was get to that hospital as quick as I could. So I floored it, broke several speeding violations, I'm sure, across the Wabasha Street Bridge. And as that family was whisked into the hospital by some St. Paul paramedics after we had arrived, I was still just kind of in shock at the end of that. I had no idea. To this day, I don't have a clue what happened to that family. But I know just in that short period of time, the couple minutes that I was with that family, that when those things happen, you sometimes just act on instinct. You're not necessarily thinking it through. You're not necessarily doing it. I think that's what makes citizens different than police officers. Officers are trained to respond in crisis. They practice it, they work it, they do it every day. But when you're an individual, when you're a citizen, and that moment of crisis comes upon you, your instincts just kick in and you do the job. Today we honor those whose instincts did kick in, who did the job and made a difference in the lives of people. I just want to say thank you. As the mayor of the city of St. Paul, as a St. Paul boy, thank you so much for being a part of what makes this a great community.
Can I please have Lisa Nicklin and John Holtzman, if John's arrived, please come up in front. Not sure that John made it. On June 29th, 2010, Ms. Nicklin and Mr. Holtman were in the pool area at the Lamplighter Village Apartments. Ms. Nicklin noticed a young boy lying underwater at the bottom of the pool. She immediately dove in to bring him to the surface, but struggled in her attempts. Mr. Holtzman witnessed this and dove in to assist her in bringing him to the side of the pool, where it was determined he was unconscious and not breathing. Without hesitation, Miss Nicklin began mouth-to-mouth resuscitation while Mr. Holtzman pushed on his stomach to expel the water. The teenager started to breathe and medics were able to transport him to the hospital where he has fully recovered. Their brave action saved this young boy's life. Let's give Lisa a round of applause. And we'll make sure to get Mr. Holtzman his award. He could not be here with us today. Next, could I have Mr. Brent Fox, Molly Lay, and Leanne Redder, if she's arrived, please step up to the front. I don't think Leanne's going to make it. On July 5th, 2010, these individuals witnessed a vehicle accident on Smith Avenue South. The driver had a medical emergency and swerved over the center line on Smith and struck a tree. Without hesitation, these three individuals stopped to check on the condition of the driver and found that he had no pulse and was not breathing. Despite a bad thunderstorm, these three strangers worked together as a team to perform CPR on the victim. They continued their efforts until medics arrived and transported him to the hospital. Although the driver did pass away, their actions and great concern for fellow citizens are more than commendable. Let's give them a round of applause. I want you to really listen intently to the next award that we're going to give, awards that we're going to give. This is what I call going above and beyond what a citizen normally would do in a very dangerous and potentially life-threatening situation. I think some of you will remember this as I read the citation. Will Miss Colleen Johnson please step up to the podium here along with Joshua Keene, if he's arrived? Joshua. On August 4th, 2010, Ms. Johnson was working as a bank teller at Park Midway Bank. A masked gunman entered the bank and most employees quickly went to the floor. However, one new employee who was being trained in on her first day stood in shock. The robber immediately was drawn to her and asked for money. She tried to explain that she did not have authorization or a money drawer to give him any money. The frightened teller, who had a gun pointed at her, turned to another teller, Miss Johnson, for assistance as the gunman continued to pressure her to find the money somehow. I just want you to picture how dangerous of a situation and how much stress these employees were under. Miss Johnson got up off the floor and opened a drawer to give him money. When he wanted more, she proceeded to put money in the bag from another drawer. At this point, the brazen man ordered her over the counter and put his gun to her side. He ordered the officer who was working security not to try anything as he pulled Miss Johnson outside with him as his hostage. Her instinct was to walk quickly to get him out of the bank before he could do any harm to those inside of the bank. He walked with her across the street, and it was then that he loosened his grasp, and she was able to retreat safely back to the bank. Her quick actions to assist her co-worker put herself at great risk and kept others in the bank out of harm's way. And I want you also to know that that suspect, while he was doing all this outside with Miss Johnson, also fired some rounds at our St. Paul police officer. Her actions are just unbelievable. We are forever in your debt for what you did. Thank you very much. And with that, you are going to be awarded the Chief's Award for Valor, actually. So I will read the second citation at this time. For Joshua, On August 4, 2010, Mr. Keene, while driving on the road, witnessed a masked bank robber with a hostage shooting at a police officer who was in pursuit. Realizing he was witnessing a very serious incident, he turned the truck around to follow the suspect. The hostage broke free and the suspect escaped in a minivan. Mr. Keene followed the suspect, getting his license plate and calling 911 with the information. After losing the vehicle, Mr. Keene returned to the scene and gave a thorough, detailed description of the criminal, his clothing, and van. His quick intervention and his keen sense of detail enabled the police to capture this dangerous criminal. I think we really need to give them a very, very loud round of applause. I don't know if you know this, but the Chief's Award for Valor is not handed out very often. And I think you heard from this story what Ms. Johnson did was just unbelievable. So I want to personally thank her again. This situation could have ended up in tragedy, but it didn't. And it shows that people here in this town, whether you're an employee, whether you work for Xcel Energy, whether you work for Park Midway Bank, you care about other people. And that's the most important piece, and that's why our city's such a great place. Can Miss Barbara Collins please step up to the podium? Barbara here? Excuse me.
Rollins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Barbara Rollins. Very compassionate story. On August 7th, 2010, Mrs. Rollins was in St. Paul on the Wabasha Bridge when she saw a female sitting on the railing facing the river. She was distraught and crying, and Miss Rollins became concerned that she would jump. She slowly approached her and with kind words and a sympathetic demeanor convinced the young woman to get down from the railing. She told her that she did not want to see her jump and that she looked like she needed a hug. When she came off the railing, she did give her a comforting embrace. Such a simple act made all the difference in the world to this individual. Many people would have avoided this situation, but instead, Ms. Rollins took the time to show compassion and genuine concern. Her actions saved her life and had a profound effect on her. Very, very unselfish actions that saved the life of someone else. Let's give Ms. Rollins a loud round of applause. Can I have Ms. Amanda Filion, Tu Yang, and Holly Overton please step up to the podium? Now this one's pretty special to me because these individuals belong to the Neighborhood House on the west side. Our president from Neighborhood House, Armando Camacho, is here in attendance, and some other employees, Chacho Estrada, near and dear because I serve on the board of directors there and I live there. But it is another situation where you will see that people working together make a difference in our community. And with that, I'll read the citations. While working at El Rio Vista Recreation Center, Ms. Filion has provided the St. Paul Police Department with information that has been crucial to investigations. In July of this year, she diligently provided us with video of a stabbing that took place, even though one of staff members had been involved. That video led the suspect to plead guilty. In August 2010, in another more high-profile case, Ms. Filione assisted the police when an elderly person was assaulted with a bat. She provided information to our officers that was crucial to making an arrest in this crime that could have easily escalated between rival gangs. Her positive influence on both her staff and youth of St. Paul has been pivotal in our community policing efforts. So thank you. They're all kind of commingled together, you understand in a second. Now for Tu Yang. And the first one is for Amanda, Holly, and Tu. I know you've all worked together, so I don't want anybody to get confused. They all have been part of the entire citation that I will read. In August of 2010, an elderly person was assaulted with a bat near Congress and Ada Streets. Under Mr. Yang's own initiative, he walked the neighborhood and spoke to citizens about the crime. Many would not speak to the police, but were comfortable speaking with him. Before the police were able to contact the neighborhood house for any assistance, Mr. Yang contacted us with the name of a possible suspect in this violent crime. The juvenile suspect confessed when officers went to his home, and the case was solved within 24 hours of the assault. Without his prompt assistance, this could have easily escalated into a bigger situation between rival gangs. Mr. Yang's positive influence on the youth and the citizens on the west side of St. Paul have been pivotal in our community policing efforts. And on a side note, it's Mr. Yang's birthday today, so let's give all three people a loud round of applause. Happy birthday. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Please take time to come up and congratulate all the award recipients. Thank you for what you do, not making our city a good place to live. As the mayor and I both reside on the west side, but we care about the entire city. This is a great place to live because of people like yourselves. Please come up. We have refreshments. We have cake. Enjoy yourself. And thank you again for being here today. And thank you for what all of you do every single day. Thank you.